Hallo, guten Tag. Welcome back to the Märklin Outsider. Where have I been? Well, there's a lot of answers for that, so I guess I'll take a couple of minutes here and explain. First of all, when I started this Märklin series, I had no idea how far I would go. I'm still a beginner, and I basically kind of maxed out what I felt comfortable sharing. There's still a lot I have to learn, and I was explaining this to people that don't know the Märklin system and just kind of introducing them into the tracks and so forth. And over the last 3-4 months, my membership has grown big, and lots of people send me emails and messages, and suddenly you're asking me questions I really don't know how to answer. Some questions, like how to repair motors of old Märklin trains. I've never repaired a motor of an old Märklin train. I don't know. I've never repaired a motor, period. All my trains were new or like new when I bought them, and the only train that needed repaired, I handed off to a friend I met at a railway club, and he fixed it for me. So unfortunately, I've been apologizing to people a lot because they're asking me to solve problems for them I don't know how to solve anymore. And so I kind of tried to answer some of those questions, and that's taken time. Of course, the whole world is in a very weird state right now with the virus and such. My wife and I should be in Germany right now. Obviously, we're not. So that's really the biggest thing, is there's still a lot to learn. Since I last did a video, Märklin had a big update on the Central Station 3. Basically, there was some confusion about diagramming your layout on the Central Station 3. So Märklin, I guess, fixed that bug. It's more than I understand what they say in German when they talk about it, but they've now created 2 different ways you can save and do your diagramming, and some of you have asked me about that. And once I finish motorizing all my layouts and making them digital, I will start programming my layout, or not programming, diagramming, drawing my layout on my Central Station 3, and I will make videos to show you how to do that. As I learn to do it, I'll share it with you. So anyhow, it's been great, the feedback, the response on this particular show, where I'm a little more serious than the other show. Now, the last episode, well, 2 episodes ago, definitely I got a lot of negative feedback, a lot of emails and comments below the video, telling me various places to stick various things. I wasn't taking a side in the issue. I understand why there's radius 1 curves in C-Track, and I understand people wanting full-scale cars of some vehicles, and I wish there was a happy way to split that, but I think both extremists on both sides kind of saw me as, because I wasn't favoring one side, I must be in the other camp. And it's amazing how simple little things like that can get divisive, and people just draw lines, you're with us or against us, and how dare you say get rid of radius 1, and how dare you not believe every car should be 1/187 scale. And I admit, I don't usually see the difference. I do when I see them together, like when I see a 100 railjet car next to a 187 railjet car. You can see the difference. And yes, the full accurate one does look better. But I understand why it isn't that way. And most German rail and most American and UK people in their scale, the 00 scale, but HO scale, yeah, very little is done 187. And companies make a big deal when they release 187 wagons, and when you have 187 wagons, then radius 1 curves become a problem again. So it's a no-win situation, or a no-lose. I mean, we're all Märklin fans here, let's remember that. If you follow my other show, you know I have been spending the last several months, first of all, with the back injury. But when I've been able to work, I went full tilt into finishing my bus station. And as soon as I finished my bus station, usually I'm done for a year. I work very slowly. But I went straight into designing and trying to figure out how to use a Fowler car system. Now, how to use it is easy, but I added a Fowler car system to my layout. And again, I try not to cross-pollinate the two shows, the Märklin Outsider and Model Train Outsider, and a lot of people watch both. I consider this channel strictly about Märklin and Märklin related topics. And that means 3-rail, AC, what I've learned, and at times what I didn't know. And fortunately, people are always willing to politely and happily try to clarify. But I still get arguments over AC versus DC because we use these terms for so many different things. People are like, you can use a DC rail on an AC track. No, you can't. And I've got people that are longtime hobbyists telling me, you can use a DC. If you take a DC train and put it on my 3-rail track and try to run it, boom, okay? So the problem is things get lost in language, and we argue AC power versus DC power versus DCC, which is digital command control. And technically, even AC, the Central Station 3, is digital command control. But the problem is DCC is also a programming language. And you can run a DCC programmed train on my Märklin system track as long as it's a 3-rail train designed to work on 3-rail. So anyhow, don't want to sound grumpy there, but yeah, so you can see I had a lot of feedback there. The big news, of course, and I will share this, I've got 2 things. First of all, I have a package from my ultimate favorite shop, Model Bon Shop Lippe. This just came today. I haven't opened it yet. I know what's in it. You don't. And maybe you want to know what's in here. Maybe you don't care. I'm going to open it for you and show you what I got and maybe run it through its paces. The other thing is about a week and a half ago, Märklin released the 2020 Summer Neuheiten, new items. I think everybody who's into model trains knows all the companies announce their new releases at the beginning of the year for the whole year, and then they surprise you with some additional ones. Obviously, because of what's going on in the world, it was a much smaller selection this year. As an Era 6 guy, just like the full year magazine, when I did a review of that, that might have been the last video I did for Märklin Outsider. When I went through the new for the year stuff, I talked about being disappointed in what Märklin was offering for Era 6 people. Not disappointed in the quality or the products. They're gorgeous, you know, and I know they're well made. Märklin makes good stuff. As does Brava and Pico and Rocco, but I'm a Märklin guy, okay? Let's just accept it right there. I'm Märklin, not Märklin, Märklin. And if you paid close attention to that video, you might know what's in the box. Not that you're going to run back and watch it and now try to figure out what's in the box, but it was hinted, it was suggested that I would be getting it, and here it is. The really astute, really good Märklin shoppers can guess by the size of the box exactly what's in here or have a pretty good idea. But I'm going to open this for you. Then we're going to look at the summer catalog. It is smaller because of what's going on, as I said. All right, so I'm going to move the camera around and let you guys all peek over the shoulder as I open this and get to see this. I kind of wanted this. The only negative I wish is there was a double I need a dummy set to go with this. So let's get into it. And whoops, sorry about that. I want to set it down on the table here, and you guys can get a look at that. That is my Lint Class 648-2 Deutsche Bahn, a Regio passenger train car. I've wanted one of these for a long time. Now, if you know my channel and you know my fleet, you know I've got a Nordwestbahn version of this. But this is a, I don't know, it's probably an older mold, but it's a brand new printing of it with the new updated chips, the new MFX chips, Märklin World of Operation chips. So this is my newest, and I'm going to call it a toy. If you get offended at calling model trains toys, sorry, too bad. So this is nice. So I'm going to move this over to my loading bench and take it out of the box. So we'll be back in a flash. We've got our gray Mobile Station 2. There's no difference between the gray and the black. And both in the Märklin Outsider series and my Model Train Outsider series, I explain how to do this. But you'll see right now it says IC 401. That's because that was the last train I uploaded. I'm going to turn this one knob over. You hold shift and turn the knob. So you hold the shift button and turn the knob, and now it says no loco. Now nothing will happen while it's in stop mode. So what I'm going to do is, I'll try to hold this in here. I'm going to take it off stop mode. This has an MFX decoder in it, which means it should take a couple of seconds and then automatically load it in. So I will hit that. And there's the blinking. It's reading the decoder. Getting all the functions in. Pardon my shaking hand. You guys all who watch my channel know this is something it's hard to control. And voila, we have a 648 all labeled up for us. It's in. That's it. It's good to go. And then all the functions. And of course, to access the functions, you have to keep hitting shift. That's 8 functions. I'm sorry. Now functions 8 through 15. All these different sound functions. 16 to 23. 24 to 31. There are none. So it has 23 functions, I believe. 24 functions. I'm sorry, 24. I always forget it starts at 0. And so you have your basic. You have your various light bulb signals. For example, the first one, the F0, is always headlights. And then that little light symbol hanging down is interior lights. You always have your horn symbols. Your shunting or slow speed symbol is the turtle there. And then activating the alternate lights and your various sound functions. Remember, on the Mobile Station 2, the iconology, the symbology is much less detailed than it is on the Central Station 3. So let's run it through its paces. So I'm going to take this off screen now so you can see. All right, so let's go with, give it a chance to zoom in. Let's see how F0 lights are. I've got just a little bit of glare, but let's see if I think you can see the lights on there right now. If I back it up just a bit, hopefully you can see the headlights there. So the headlights work. Let's try the interior lights. I'll tell you what, I'm going to pause this and turn out these lights here because I am getting quite a glare. Boom, there's the headlights. Now you can see them. Let's change direction on it so you can see that the tail lights are also working. Notice that the destination lights up as well. The RE25 to Koblenz. I think I've ridden this. I'm pretty sure I've ridden the RE25 to Koblenz. All right, there come the lights on. This is a new feature. Let me move the camera a bit here. My apologies. I did not know this was the new function, but I'll turn this off. If you watch, the lights blink on like they would in reality. So that's kind of new. That's the first train I've had where it does that. For a second, I wondered if I didn't have, I had it on a bad spot on this test track, but no. All right, I don't want to go through all the sounds and functions. I'll try to run it in just a quick video, but let's try a couple. Let's move this back. Announcements in German. Hey, it's a German train. That was a funny whistle, wasn't it? I'm just hitting some of the ones. I turned the sound off for a second. And let's bring it back. Had to buff up the track just a little. I realize it's been a long time since I've had a train on here. All right, so that is my new toy. I will load it into my Central Station 3. The process is the same. You put it on the programming track, just let the decoder read it, and bam, it's automatically in there. And then I will give it some, I'll run it in on the main loops here. So we'll come back to that in a bit. All right, so we're giving the little Diesel fella a chance to get run in. Half an hour each direction. All right, we're giving the guy one little running in session. He'll do about half an hour each way. This first pass through Delmenhorst Station. And then we're going to go down low here, let you catch him passing. Hopefully the focus will be pretty good. There he comes. And we're just going to let him run in, but that is my new Märklin 37716. Oops, sorry, we got a little foggy there, so we'll do that. The Märklin 37716, link class 648. Gonna be a regular on my layout. Tune in for a running session later in the RE25. He really is identical to my other lint class right there, which you can't see in the video, but yep, that's him. The new member of the fleet. So, looking forward to many years of him running, especially as more of the layout gets done now that the follow car system's in. We'll see you. So, that was a look at my latest toy. A couple of weeks ago, Märklin released the new summer catalog. Not a lot of selections in it, as I mentioned at the start of the video. So here is some video I actually shot a week and a half ago. Just kind of quickly going through it and giving my opinion. Again, I don't give opinions as to whether it's good or bad. It's just whether something appeals to me or not. I'm not here to sell you on it. You know what you like. You can get to the Märklin catalog yourself and really go through and see what you like. It was definitely an Era 3-4 heavy catalog for as small as it was the year-long catalog. So anyhow, let's go ahead and look at that. So let's see if we can get a decent view of the Märklin Summer New Items 2020, Sommer Neuheiten 2020. The first thing we can say right away is that it is a much smaller catalog than we have had the first 4 summers I've been into Märklin and been getting the catalogs. And I think we all understand why. Resources were definitely lower and so forth. So the size of it, we can't complain. And you'll notice that one thing they did is here they've combined it. If I can get the mouse up here, they've combined Märklin and Mini Tricks, the N-scale stuff, and Tricks HO into one catalog. Normally they separate them. So obviously a gorgeous steam locomotive on the screen, but let's look at it. The first thing they're going to talk about is, let's fit it into screen here, the Märklin Magazine annual car. If you don't know about this, Märklin releases special cars to subscribers to Märklin Magazine, which you get as part of the Märklin Insider. But you can usually find these on eBay and everything else. And then more of the MHI, Märklin Händler Initiative, the Märklin Dealers Initiative in English. If you are a business who is a member of the MHI, you can sell these trains, and if you're just somebody who sells trains and may have Märklin in there, but if you're not a member of their MHI group, then you don't get to sell these trains, or you can refuse to sell these trains. But so my particular shop in Germany, Modelbahn Shop Lippe, depending on what it is, very often doesn't sell a lot of the MHI vehicles unless they know it's going to be a big hit. But as you can see, we've got right here, the magazines always tell you Era 2. So if you love Era 2 and 3, this was a great summer release for you guys. A lot of Era 2. And these are beautiful trains. Don't get me wrong. These are beautiful. And they always list all the different accessories that the decoder can do. They're beautiful trains. It's just not my era. It's not my stuff. So I'm not hating on Märklin or Steam Era. It just, for me personally, it's not what I'm really after. Again, a lot of Era 3, Era 4. Now, they call this Era 6, but it is a museum locomotive. So it's an earlier era, just refurbished and running again in the current era. So I guess if you wanted to hit me over the head about nothing Era 6, well, there's this one. And again, you can go to their webpage and look up each of these items. I'm just going through, kind of giving you a quick view of what's there. Here's an Era 4 little shunter. Era 4 little DMUs. I think they're DMUs. They might be EMUs. Diesel or electric. One of the big things that Märklin is pushing are Schuco cars. Märklin now owns Schuco, or has owned them for a while, and they're releasing various HO scale vehicles that you can pick up, including always some version of a Märklin delivery van and other vehicles. And then they go into N-Gauge. So if you're into N-Gauge, there's a little bit here. This is the mini tricks. So that was it for the Märklin section. Really, although they turn around here and say, okay, here's a classic. Again, it is an Era 3 steam locomotive. It's beautiful. A Class 58, I think is what that says. And just beautiful Era 3 steam locomotives. Here's an Era 6 measurement locomotive. So yeah, they did have a couple Era 6. The Deutsche Bahn System Technique. And then they have a couple of Swiss locomotives of the current era. Some Dutch cars from Era 4, car wagons from Era 4, and transport. And then the one that to me was the most intriguing of their new releases, whoops, sorry about that, of their new releases is this one. This is fictional. There is no train actually like this, but they took a Vectron, a Class 193 Vectron, electric locomotive, obviously, with the pantographs there, and they just gave it the black and red Märklin coloring scheme. There is no real prototype of this. The 193 is real, but Märklin has not bought advertising and done a Class 193 like this. This is just a fictitious release for them. It's probably my favorite train in the locomotive in the catalog. To me, it's the coolest. I love the color scheme, the black with the red trim. It's just kind of cool. And then they've released a series of container car and wagons to go with it. And so that is, to me, this is sort of, and again, remember, it's just me, modern era 6. The Vectron, of course, is a cool looking locomotive in and of itself, and it's becoming more and more prominent in Germany. And then just the cars to go with it. I will not buy this. It's freight. I shouldn't say I will not. I'm not planning on buying it. If something came up and what have you. But right now I'm saving my money for a certain ICE 4, although there is another train coming in June, and I'll do an unboxing video with that. So that was it. This is normally a much fuller magazine, but obviously the cutbacks that had to be installed because of what we're calling the showstopper online. People are a little scared to mention the pandemic. But there it is. Obviously, they weren't going to make as much material. And it's beautiful stuff. If you love this, I mean, these are some very interesting cars here. This is Era 3. This was a very Era 3 heavy catalog. And these are beautiful steam locomotives. The craftsmanship, the detail is first rate, just looking at the pictures. Märklin, we know, makes good quality. You wouldn't be a Märklin fan. You wouldn't be coming back to a Märklin page unless you loved Märklin. Just great stuff here. But it's Era 3 mostly. And then they had the one little mini tricks here, the little N scale. They just kind of threw this in the middle, but it's a startup kit as well. So if you're thinking of getting into N scale, here's a little startup kit. You get you get your little tricks version of the Mobile Station 2, and you get a cool little locomotive. Let's zoom in on that just a bit to give you an idea of what it looks like. It's a Swiss train. It's a Swiss freight train, but it's N scale. And at one time I had toyed starting with N scale when I was looking at getting a train just for space reasons. And looking at how small and delicate they are, I'm glad I didn't do N scale. I'll take HO. Maybe I should have done tabletop, but All right, so that again is just my quick glance through. I wasn't going to go through each item individually. You can do that on your own time and really read if something popped your fancy. And if, as I scrolled through here, you saw nothing that interests you, well, then maybe I saved you a little bit of time on your own to research. But again, a very Era 3 heavy with some Era 4. Again, they call this Era 6. This is truly an Era 4 train, and just been brought back. But again, very cool looking. The details exquisite. I think these things are beautiful, but it's not what I'm into. Can I say that? Yes. I marvel at the beauty of these things and man's ingenuity. But at the same time, it's not what I'm into. Just like I can marvel at a certain singer's voice, but not be into their music. They got a great voice, but they don't sing the music I want to listen to. So, same idea. All right, so I have wasted enough of your time if you hung on this long, and I will see you sometime down the road here. All right, everybody out there, as the little diesel comes around and gets himself run in, I'm going to take this opportunity to say, stay safe and be careful, everybody. Auf Wiedersehen, tschüss, and happy trains.